We started, are we? Do I want coffee?
Get the coffees.
Right,
I'm on the coffees. Just chill.
I can't work without coffee. It's like standard procedure these days. No work is done without a coffee.
I don't like the way you give me grief, you know.
You love it.
I feel like you're knocking my confidence again.
These days where I don't, I don't get paid to work for them anymore. I can say what I want.
You wonder why I turn up one day with the yips, you know.
You probably caught that off me, hanging around with me for so long.
Yeah, I know. I definitely caught that off you, actually.
Yeah. You had a little W last week, didn't you?
Hang on, I've gone the wrong way here.
Where are you going?
I've built this new little station.
It's gone cold by the time you got here. Thanks.
Cheers.
And you've gone back to that one. Not pushing the brand anymore, no? Giving up the brand? Right.
Well, I've got the Godfather, the Golf Father.
That is well needed. Lovely. Look at your ear turned up as well.
Is it?
A little bit, yeah.
It's just a little bit deep.
Is it one size fits all, or do they do different?
Yeah, it's one size fits all. But it is a little bit deep. But I figured as it is the Masters special on the Sunday morning show, we would wear Masters kit. So I've got Masters hat from this year.
Yeah.
I've got my Masters hoodie, Under Armour hoodie
green,
from last year.
You think the whole thing would be green?
Yeah, but this is the sandwich.
Yeah, I get that, but I would thought it would be a green shade because that's what their colours are, generally. Yellow and green. Could be yellow with a green logo.
Well, there's yellow and green in the logo.
Yeah, but you've got a grey hoodie on.
Yeah, but you've got to get that. But it allows the logo to pop.
Does it?
Yeah. Can you see it now? You can see it, can you?
Well, I'll be honest with you.
If it was green...
I thought it was a crocodile to start with.
If it was green...
It does look like a crocodile.
It wouldn't pop.
But not, okay.
And now it pops.
Not for me.
Not for you. But anyway, this is a Masters... This is 2 weeks in a row, Bernie.
2 Sunday shows in a row.
This is 2 Sunday shows in a row.
Godfather mugs.
No, I'm just saying that it's 2 Sunday shows in a row that we... I love that.
The train.
Yeah, the train then.
You get it
reminds me of...
you get it sometimes in the videos, don't you? But you don't realise it's actually happened because you hear it all the time.
Well, what you don't realise is how often that train goes past every day.
Yeah. It doesn't stop at Churston Village anymore either, you know that? It goes straight through. It goes from Paynton straight through to Kingsway. It doesn't stop. It used to stop at Churston thing, but it doesn't. It's not. Apparently, it's not financially viable now to stop there. But,
this world. What is this world coming to, Ben?
It was the end as soon as they stopped stopping at Churston.
That is terrible. Anyway, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Sunday morning show. Good morning, Bernie.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, everybody.
You've played today, haven't you?
I did, yeah. Went out there and played. Oh, I wouldn't say played. I had a wander around. Took some clubs out to try.
Oh, what clubs did you take out?
You'll have to wait for the video. No, I took out a set to try. So I try and, if I do a review, I try and put them in play or put the equipment in play for normally 1 round, but maybe several rounds if it performs well, just to give it a real thorough test and under competition environment. Yeah, rather than just going out there hitting a few shots, but putting a bit of consequence to actually using them and then give them a review that way.
And?
Yeah, decent. I mean, I didn't play very well. I didn't play very well, but
it was breezy out there this week, isn't it?
I took a set of irons out and they performed. They performed well in the conditions, but there's not much. To be fair, I'm doing quite a bit of reviews recently, but there's not a lot of rubbish equipment out there, is there? It's all good, isn't it?
It's all positive.
There's not much rubbish out there.
It's all positive. However, you were testing a set of blades today, so there's not a lot you're going to get from that blade to another blade to another blade, is there?
No. I mean, there's less technology in a blade than there is in a game improvement iron, is there? Let's be honest. But
just a heads up on that: when you do put out a video about blades, you get a very small amount of people watching it.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Just to give you a heads up on that. Only because it's
niche
5% of maybe the golfers that will actually be able to use not be able to use a blade, because everybody can use a blade, but 5% of golfers will likely to not are likely to use it.
And I'll be honest with you, they're probably not really suitable for me at my level of my ball striking at the moment.
Disagree with that.
No.
And the reason I'm disagreeing with that is because I've got a video coming out very soon with you and I, which is quite nice, at Dinard, our special place.
I wasn't using blades at Dinard.
It doesn't matter. You were striping it like I haven't seen you hit it like that since '96.
It wasn't that great. I've hit it better. I've hit it better than that.
You carried the team.
Wow.
If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have finished inside
I get
the
about
top 3,
24 shots now. So.
You carried the team, Bernie.
Thanks, Dan.
It was a delight to watch, and I felt honoured that you carried me all the way around.
I think you're overplaying my role in that particular one, but it'd be nice to watch the vlog anyway.
We might have to do a voiceover because the audio went horribly wrong on the last 6 holes.
Yeah, I've had the same on the video that's coming out, to be out tomorrow. my mic just didn't charge, and I was on the 8th hole when I started filming, and I had to use the old-fashioned, you know, mic on top of the camera, which it just, when it's windy, you lose so much of the audio. It's amazing. Like, if anybody's making videos, whether that's social media, YouTube, etc., is watching this, get some proper mics. It makes, spend a couple £100, but the quality is like, it's chalk and cheese. It's particularly when it's windy and, yeah, but annoying, isn't it? When
you learn,
you almost need two sets of mics, don't you?
Do you know the problem I had on that particular day was I was supposed to take the mics out, both the mics, as I was mic'd up like this.
Yeah.
And a couple of the lads asked me to come and do a little lesson down on the range.
You were rushing, weren't you?
And I was rushing about, so I ran down there, did the lesson, and then I forgot to put the second mic in my golf bag, which I've been doing all week, and I got it horribly wrong. And end result was rubbish audio for the last 6 holes because the mics didn't work out as well as I'd hoped.
No,
so,
we can always do a voiceover and chat.
We will definitely have to do a voiceover because it is so windy up there on that particular day.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're here for the Masters. There's a number of things that I kind of wanted to talk about with it. Probably stuff that we've gone over in the past, but I always think it's quite nice to refresh on exactly what we've chit-chatted about over the years gone by. Who's winning it in your mind?
In my mind.
Who's already won it in your mind?
Who's already won it? Who's going to win it this year? My heart says I'd love Rory to win it, just to complete. I mean, I'm not a massive Rory fan particularly, but it'd be nice for how well he's done over the years, his longevity in the game, at the top of the game. It'd be nice for him to complete the career Grand Slam. So I'd like him to win it heart-wise this year. I don't know why, but this year I just feel like I want him to win it. Before I haven't really cared whether he's won it. But I still think Scotty Scheffler wins it. Do
you want him to win it because you're just a bit bored of listening to everyone go on about it? You're just
like maybe.
Let's just get this done. Let's get him off, get him over the line, and then we can all move on in the golf world.
I mean, he's got a Hall of Fame career, hasn't he, with what he's won and what he's done in golf. But I just feel like if he's not getting, I mean, it's a stupid saying, they say he's not getting any younger, but he's approaching his mid-30s now, isn't he? So don't get me wrong, he's still winning your 40s, but his time is running out. And every year he doesn't win this particular tournament, the pressure increases and increases. I just love to see him do it. I just feel like he'd look back on his career if he doesn't win the Masters with a bit of regret. I think because he's had numerous opportunities to win it.
Yeah.
What about you? Who do you think? What's your heart and what's your head saying?
Well, there's one guy who I would just really love to win it.
Right.
Justin Thomas.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him win it. Do I think he's going to win it? Probably not.
No.
My second one is, as you quite rightly said, we don't need to go over it again, but Rory McIlroy. It'd be nice to just get that. Not because I'm a big fan. I'm not a fan of Rory at all, actually. But I would just like to see that thing done, and then the press can move on and get away.
Get
from
another
all
story
that.
about someone else who won it.
Exactly. Who hasn't won it? You know? The best player never to have won the Masters. Let's get that done.
Yeah.
Jordan Spieth. Love to see him come back and do well in the Masters. I feel like he's on that. He's on the right road. He's moving in the right direction, and I would like to see him almost like kickstart his career again in that way, and hopefully get him over the line for that. So, and he loves the place, as we all know. He's done well around there before. So, like to see him. And then I don't know.
No, I mean it's quite an openish field, isn't it? I looked at the betting. It's always a good indicator. The bookies don't get it wrong too often, like? And well, obviously Scheffler's favourite, isn't he? And then the rest of the field, But even looking down sort of 20 or 30th in the betting, there's players you think, well, he could win it. Or he could. I mean, I know it's a restricted, smaller field than all the other majors, but other than the few past winners, like I guess Langer, who's probably it's his last one, isn't it? He's not going to win it, but. There's a good field. There's a good chance that you could get a surprise winner even, but you just never know, do you? It's my second favourite major, but back nine of Sunday I feel it's the best major because you can make birdies and eagles, particularly on those two shorter par fives towards the end. The one over water, I think, is it 15?
Yeah.
15 and 17 are both par 5s.
Yeah,
15,
no, 17.
17's not, no. 15 is,
15
isn't it?
is.
Yeah. They're both eagleable, but then you can also make 6s, 7s and 8s on those holes, and there's also, you know, you've got amen corner, which causes carnage, yeah. So you can be, someone can be, you know, we saw when Norman faltered and Faldo came through and beat him, you can collapse from you can look like the tournament's in one hand, you're holding the trophy, and then within 2 holes you're not even in the top 10. And I don't think you get that in many other majors consistently, which you do in the Masters. And every shot is, you know, like the Open last few years has been, it's not been that finish, has it? It's not been like, oh my God, like he could come back, you know. No. That's why I love that tournament. It sort of kick-starts the season.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Absolutely agree with that. You kind of want some fireworks, don't you?
Yeah.
You need some fireworks coming at the last, like someone bounces through the pack, or even like last week when we had Minwoo Lee who won. Yeah. You know, I didn't watch to the bitter end, but I saw him dunch his drive into the water on the par 5. I think it was like 16 or 15 or something like that. And you could tell, I mean, I was nervous for him. I was watching it nervous for him because Scotty Scheffler was knocking on the door.
He's not a good finisher, is he, generally?
Well, to be fair, I think he'll get better. Yeah. But, I mean, it's his first win on the PGA Tour. I think it's, you know, it was something he needed to do to get going again, get going with it now. You know, so as he said in his post-interview, he said, winning on the PGA Tour is just really hard. And I get it. If you've got players that are
so competitive, isn't it?
You've got players that are running through the pack at you.
Yeah.
You know, it was a huge display of players that were coming up right behind him. So he's got to be mindful of that. I think his caddy really helped him get through that, which is Shane Lowry's old caddy actually, won the Open with him. So so that was good. Question then. Been thinking about this one. Does Freddie Couples make the cut?
Oh.
In fact, 2 questions there.
Okay.
Does Freddie Couples make the cut? But will we see Freddie Couples' name on the leaderboard like we have done for every other major, every other Masters has ever happened? Freddie Couples has hit the leaderboard in the first day.
When I started watching golf in sort of the mid-90s, it just, even when he was out of form and not having a good season, or he hadn't played well it was always, literally, you'd see him, he would hang around that leaderboard and he'd be getting, you know, he'd be on it all the time, wouldn't he? First day, you'd see him, he'd be the first round leader when he was, like, not really that competitive in terms of tour playing, but he'd come from, like, he'd have no form, boom, leading the Masters after the first round, or he'd be, like, sick going into the final, and he'd be like, what's that? Must just love that golf course, know how to play it. I know it's a course that you need experience around, you need to know where to hit it, you need an experienced caddy. There's very few, I don't think anybody, I better not say that, but I don't think you generally have to play it several times and several years before you win that tournament. You don't just rock up as a rookie and win it. It's very rarely, do you? It's a course you need experience on. And I know when the rookies do come and play it, they try and get with an experienced player in the practice round, try and learn off them, don't they? I mean, Woods used to do it with O'Meara, didn't he? And other people have done the same thing. So, he just wants to know where to hit it and just loves the golf course.
I think they've maybe just lengthened it too long much, for him now that he might not feature in that front. But I think if the golf course was back to its kind of original length, or let's say 5 years ago its length, you may have seen him sort of hover around there, because he's still competing, still playing Champions Tour.
Yeah, he does well on Champions Tour.
And loving it, you know. So, it'd be... So do you think he'll make the cut?
No.
Do you think he'll hit the leaderboard?
I haven't seen, obviously the start times haven't been published yet, but if he's out in the first few groups, he could easily get to 1 or 2 under par if it's a decent day for through like 10 holes. I wouldn't be shocked if I saw him on that leaderboard at some stage. Whether he can make the cut, I'd say the course is too long now for him. I would say no, realistically, but I'd love him to do it.
Yeah, I would as well.
Again, another heart over head, isn't it? But I think this time my head wins.
Has the Masters become the #1 major now?
Not for me, no. I guess if you asked it in different parts of the world, you'd have different answers, wouldn't you? For me, the Open Championship is the pinnacle of golf. If I had to choose a tournament to win, it would be the Open Championship. And if I could pick the golf course, obviously it'd be St Andrews. but Americans would probably say that the Masters is their favourite event, and I bet you'd still get some people over this side of the pond saying that they enjoy the Masters more than the Open.
Because it's beautiful, isn't it?
It's not got the history, has it? It's still not got that.
I mean, no.
And it's a restricted field as well. It's invite only.
Yeah.
You know, I personally don't. I would say for me, it's number 2.
Yeah.
I know people. That's probably quite controversial. People would probably put it maybe further down because of the fact that it's less history. I'm
going to ask the audience, though. I'm going to ask them.
Yeah.
I just want you to, in the comments, I want you to rank them.
That's
so
a good
idea. You've got the Open Championship, you've got the Masters. I'm assuming you're going US Open and then you're going PGA Championship. Those are your...
Yeah, they're my 3.
That's
my order.
In that order.
So you want them to put them in order?
I want them to put in order.
Yeah.
What's your number 1? What's your number 2? What's your number 3? And what's your number 4?
And why? I want to know why. Like, if you made a controversial decision, like you think the PGA Championship is the best one to win, then why? We need a reason, don't we?
Yeah.
Can't just have it in order.
And hopefully YouTube, if you comment, then YouTube will push this video on. Keep it going. Give it a like as well.
Don't
Why
tell
not do
them
that? Come on, let's go. And remember, 33% of you, not even subscribed.
You're joking.
Watching you and I
shouldn't be watching this if they're not subscribed. Can we not stop them watching?
Shocking. No? Anyway, just coming off the Masters a little bit, just wanted to show you this.
Oh, what I was going to talk about. I had more stuff to talk about.
Oh no, we'll come back to it. I just wanted to talk about this.
All right.
Because I know you're always kind of having a little pop about the price of golf gloves.
Yeah, that and balls is my little thing at the moment.
Yeah, I know it's your little pop. Yeah. I just want you to just slide your hand into that. Okay. Now I found these online.
Okay.
Because I was thinking about you when I was doing it. GX golf gloves.
GX, not heard of it, to be honest. Cool, it's tight.
I've actually seen the logo before. That's a small. So that's a Cabretta small.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know what it feels like to me? It feels like the ping glove I wear. So it's very similar.
Similar?
Yeah.
So
a little
soft?
bit soft, but feels slightly thicker than your player's glove that I used to wear.
Therefore, it's going to wear probably a little bit longer.
Which I would say it lasts longer. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I would, just looking at it, I love the double stitching as well. That's really nice.
Yeah.
That's good. That's gonna stay in place. But there's extra. You got the extra leather round.
Yeah.
Sort of where your forefinger goes into your thumb. I quite like that. But I would
like
a
sell
bit.
It to me.
No, but I would like a little bit of extra padding here.
Okay,
on the palm, because I wear them around here.
You wear them out there.
Yeah.
It's bad grip, that is, Benny.
I know, well, yeah.
Anyway.
But nice. Yeah,
under £10 a glove.
That's an absolute bargain.
Yeah.
For that. If it had...
You have to you buy them in packs of 3.
Yeah.
And they're 30 quid or something like that for when I saw it, I thought, do you know what? I'm going to get a couple of them. I'm going to show Bernie and show him that you can actually buy gloves out on the market for less than £10 a glove.
That's brilliant.
How do you feel about that?
I feel like that's a decent glove. If it had a different logo on here...
Yeah, like a Bernie logo.
Well, no, but I mean, like, if it didn't have that logo and it said Ping or Titleist, you would...
You wouldn't know, would you?
No.
But it doesn't need to. It says GX golf gloves, Bernie.
Feels very nice, Dan.
Happy with that?
Yeah, decent.
Okay. Well, I'm always thinking of you when I'm looking
I will
at these
check them
sorts of
out
things.
as well.
Check them out for yourself. Comes with a nice little pouch, so you can put that as a waterproof pouch to pop it in your bag.
Nice, isn't it? That's a nice little touch as well, because
like
I used to put my gloves in a carry bag one time so they wouldn't get wet and stuff, but that's better. Yeah. That's much nicer, isn't it?
There you go. Back to the Masters. Talk about
your favourite Masters moment over the years. Come on, name. I'm going to ask you for 3, actually. Top 3 best moments or your most memorable moments.
Well, number one that jumps out to me instantly, there's a few, because they're probably moments that, you know, when they do the highlights on TV, and they do
continually show
the intro to the Masters, they continuously show the same thing over year on year. So there's one that jumps out to me, which is Tiger Woods' pitch on the 16th hole.
Where the ball hovers over the lip.
I mean, Nike must have how much did Nike pay for that, do you think?
Absolutely
how much do you think they paid him to do that? Because that is just a marketing genius.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably one of the greatest things Nike had done since Jordan's trainers being the wrong colour and getting fined.
Correct.
But yeah, the way that even the logo was the right way round, everything was just perfect, and the way it sat there with the logo facing the camera and then dropped. I mean, it was phenomenal marketing. Like, if you couldn't even plan that any better, that's definitely a moment. I mean, and it stayed above the ground for so long, didn't it? Or it felt like forever. Like
it was almost like time Nike had stopped time for that split second, didn't they?
Yeah.
The next one is when Sandy Lyle flicked it out the bunker onto 18, and then he was the first. I believe he was the first European to win.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Was it 88? Sure. Was it 80 something? Wasn't it?
87, 88, 86 was when
Nicholas
won.
His last major, wasn't it?
But he was in his 40s.
They thought 46,
they thought he was washed up and done.
Yeah.
Came back and won with his son on the bag, which was really quite nice. There's a few, isn't there? The little hole-in-ones that have been going. I always remember Louis' hole-in-one. He dropped it down on 16 and popped it.
And it rolled down the hill, didn't it? Because you do get quite a few on that hole.
No, it was Louis'. I'll tell you which one it was. It was when Louis, I think, made an albatross on the second hole in the final round. He didn't go on to win it, unfortunately. I think Bubba Watson maybe won that one. Bubba Watson out the trees.
That was a good one. The wedge that he moved, like, shaped it.
Yeah.
Which is, I always, as well, like the moment where the caddy, showing his respect to, like, the place in the course, sort of bowed
on 18.
Yeah. That's good. That's a good moment as well.
Rory holed out the bunker on 18. That shot where it goes up the slope and then down. He throws his club into the bunker, which is a really random
thing to do.
But it was heat of the moment, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I would like to hear in the comments what people think about their thing. Let's get this. Let's really boost this video. Come on, let's really get it up there.
A lot of questions, more questions than answers in this video.
You're going to be busy on the old keyboards today.
Your finger's going to be hurting.
So what would you say? Those are probably in your your similar sort of peripheral vision of what you think is probably the hottest moments.
Yeah, I mean one of my first memories of watching golf was Faldo and Norman on the last sort of back nine of the Masters, where Norman sort of made a few mistakes, dropped a few shots, a few bad shots, but the way that Faldo played those last 9 holes, that doesn't get enough credit. You always get the Norman sort of bottled it or blew it, but it was actually, I mean, if you look at the score and how he constructed that back 9 together, Faldo, it was just ridiculous. Like, that gets overshadowed by the fact of what Norman was doing, but that's my first memory of it. So I'd say that's probably one of my favourite. When
Norman was collapsing, it was like fireworks. So the cameras.
But he just focused on doing what he was doing. He was almost not taking any notice of what Norman was doing, and he just playing. He had a game plan and just executed it absolutely perfectly. I also remember when Woods won it by he just absolutely destroyed the field. Literally went through, and it was like he was playing a different golf course. That was a memory as well. Like when his dominance basically started.
Yeah.
Individual moments. The Fred Cubbles one where round A1 corner on the par 3 where he somehow hit it onto the front edge of the green. It span back down. It was going in the water and just stuck on the bank, which it just doesn't stop. And then he just sort of wedged it up and hold the putt when he looked like he was going to make double and made par. I mean, that was an iconic moment as well, wasn't it?
Don't remember that one.
But
I do remember now somebody's ball sticking.
It just
like
stuck
that,
on
and that was Freddie, was it?
Freddie Couples, yeah, it stuck on the thing. I think he even bent. I'd have to even look at it. I think he bent down after he chipped it up and found a ball in the water and flicked a ball out of the water.
Oh yeah, I remember that now.
So yeah, that was a moment as well.
Yeah,
but there's so many, isn't there?
Yeah,
so many iconic moments.
Talking about iconic moments,
you need to retire them.
100%.
100% record.
So we've got a 100% win record now. So some people will know that have watched the video that I've done with this particular setup.
Great video, by the way.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very intense.
It was intense.
You'd have to be a proper fanboy to watch it, I think.
Yeah.
But it's really, I mean, the information and what you can gain from that video is, it's ridiculous.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's almost. I don't want to say too good for YouTube. It's almost like you could show that to all like young assistant PGA professionals. Or that's like that. That's the blueprint. That's the blueprint of fittings. I feel every company could learn from that. Yeah. Oh, unbelievable.
Mizuno S3. So I was introduced to the Mizuno S3 at my film shoot.
Yeah.
Over in Portugal when I picked them up and took them over to Portugal to do a foremost video, and I just fell in love.
Yeah.
Not just with the look of them, but the fact that how they felt off the face and everything along those lines. And I know that how a feel has a massive thing to do with shafts, and I did go into the KBS.
Yeah.
And I've finally gone into the Align Max grips, which is the +4 ones, which I'm really happy with. But the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because they have got 100% record, because the first event I went out, so I got them on the Tuesday, drove back with them. As you saw, they made them. And then on the Wednesday, there was a last-minute dropout at the Devon PGA Alliance, of which they were looking for an extra player. So I just messaged and said, look, I'll play if there's a spare spot. I'll go out and play. And shot a couple under and finished tied first with Craig Passmore, actually. Really? Craigie. Yeah. So they have got 100%. They've played once and they've won once.
They're like the Tiger Woods of irons.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, not using them again, retiring them.
I don't know what to do with them, really.
Put them in the vault.
Put them in the vault, and those are the wedges.
Lovely, yeah.
And I know you've enjoyed these wedges because we've had these in the office here for a while. I
pick them up quite constantly and be like, oh yeah.
They're nice, aren't they?
Yeah, and the clubs as well. I know how it just shows how important fitting is, but when I hit them, I got nothing out of them distance-wise. Yeah. Like I was hitting them as hard as I could.
Were you quite surprised on how far I was hitting them in the fitting?
Before you went up for the fitting, I was like, they're going to either have to crank the lofts for you, or they might, if they do a stronger set, you're going to need them because they just literally go nowhere. When I hit them, I literally hit. I know my ball strike is not great anymore, but I just didn't get anything out of them. I was hitting a 7-iron like under 150, and I'm like, that's like they feel great, they look great, everything about them, and I know irons, people say, oh, it's not that important to hit far with your irons, but it just, for the gapping of your irons, if I'm hitting a 4-iron like 160, 165, which means I'll just have like a massive gap between my longest iron that I was carrying and then say like my rescue club, which goes like 210, 215, and you suddenly, the makeup of the set would be completely wrong, and yeah, I would just have to drop a club further up or further down. It just gets all complicated, so it'd be no good for me with that particular distance. But I was shocked you were hitting them further than your Titleist, which shows how much a good fitting actually, what the difference it makes.
And the other thing that was jumped out to me, which I wasn't expecting to see, to be honest with you, was a slight change in shaft. Because as you know, I have experimented with lots of different shafts.
You've always gone back to what you, which shaft. People do, don't they? They go back to what they're comfortable with and what they trust.
But all in all, I'm very happy.
You got some more videos coming out from there? Was that?
Well, I did a wedge video with it, which I've got to look through the footage to see if it's actually going to work. Okay. Because it was a bit of a mishmash of what we were doing that day, but there is some good footage from it.
Yeah. So there might be shorts rather than social media shorts rather than actual full length video.
There might be something I can pull from it, but ultimately I wasn't there because I'm so happy with my wedges, not my wedge game, but my wedges, like my 60, my 56. I think the gapping there is really good. Yeah. I love the 50-degree wedge. I struggle with the 52, and I love having a 46-degree wedge from the Specialist setup. Yeah. So I didn't really want to change that. I just wanted it to be the same as what I've got. And if there was some wedges there that I found that I liked, then I would go with it, of which I did. And that's why we've ended up in those Mizuno Pro T1s. So there will be some footage on it. It's just what I do with it. Yeah. It's kind of like the next thing, really. So all in all, very happy. And just so everyone knows, I am not sponsored by Mizuno, even though they have supplied me with some clubs to use. Okay. They have not sponsored me.
No, and they're paying you 10 grand a year, but
they're not. No, they're not paying any money towards me or anything like that. They're not contributing towards anything and this, that, and the other. No. But I just wanted to really get that relationship going.
But you are available for club sponsorship if another company would like to contact you. No. And if you're not interested, you can come to me.
Exactly. I will send them all over to Bernie.
Thanks.
All right. So you fill your boots on that one. I'm just happy choosing what I want to play with. My bag is a mixed bag now, and I love that.
You're like some of the modern pros who don't have club contracts anymore, who'd rather pick and choose what they play and have a Frankenstein worth bag, don't they? Yeah. Style bag.
The only thing I would say is that I was chatting in the office about it. But I wasn't really sure whether I wanted to go and get a fit for another set of irons because I'd done a year with my PXG irons. I didn't exactly I didn't improve in that year. My ball striking didn't improve. My greens in regulation didn't improve. So I wasn't getting any better. Those mishits that I thought I would still get me to target or still hit the green. That wasn't happening. No. So that's why I went straight back to my blades. And then you saw me when I was over in France. I was striking it beautifully. With my blades. That I just think try and get something to match in as close to that as I possibly can.
There was no real improvement from the blades into the PXG, which are potentially easier to hit.
Yeah.
You didn't. There wasn't any noticeable. When you went back to the blades, you hit it just as well, if not probably better, in my opinion.
But I've had them since 2019, and they are pretty battered. The blades.
Yeah.
They are battered.
That's the problem, nice. with a soft forged metal.
When you're looking down and you can see those little pits in the top of the head.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, I'd stop looking at that.
Yeah.
It takes my eye off what I'm trying to actually do, you know. That's what I blame anyway.
Always got to blame something.
Dan Hendriksen Golf Day Society, the first launch of the Dan Hendriksen Golf Society, which we reintroduced again last week in the Sunday morning show, gone, sold out.
Brilliant.
Actually wanted 40 people. I think we've got 48.
Oh,
so I've had to get a couple more tee times for it.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for everybody who supported that. Will there be more? We will see.
Oh,
it
nice.
might be the start of something. You never know. You never know. But I don't know where it goes from here. So we'll absolutely see. But I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. Yeah. Meeting new people. You're playing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Bovey Castle will hopefully be in fantastic shape because it's a bit of growth now and we're off and running. All golf courses, I know you're all probably struggling out there in the UK, but all golf courses in the next couple of weeks will just go bang. You'll get so much growth. You're probably seeing that they're putting fertiliser down on a lot of the greens and getting everything moving. You're going to see some really true surfaces out there. And golf is going to be very much back, ready for action.
I always think the Masters, once that weekend's over, that's the golf season for me started. Yeah. And the summer, yes, I love the summer.
Yeah, you're more of a summer boy, aren't you? Get a bit
shorts
colour
on
in
today.
your face.
No, you can't see, can you? You can't see, can you? No.
Is that the start of your...
Like out of bounds white posts they look like at the moment, but hopefully a bit of sun on them or a bit of...
will really elevate
them.
Elevate them. Yeah. Right, well, it is the start of Masters Week. We hope you enjoy the azaleas, the patrons.
They're not
funny words
the crowd, the patrons.
The patrons, yes, absolutely. We
hope
you enjoy it.
Yeah.
I hope your person who you've chosen gets through and actually wins the Masters for you.
Again, who do you think's going to win the Masters? Put it in the comment section. There you go.
Say that? Have we done that already?
Don't know.
If we haven't, make
again,
sure you
do it twice.
Do it twice. Let's really push this video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you go and check out Bernie's channel as well. And we'll see you again
very soon.
Very soon.